In this video, I'm going to explain how to use the empirical approach to solve for accounting for growth. The growth of an economy can be decomposed into the various components that caused it. So we're given this equation, g sub y equals g sub a plus alpha times g sub k plus 1 minus alpha times g sub l. But what do these terms mean? So alpha is the share of the GDP distributed to owners of capital. 1 minus alpha is the share of GDP distributed to laborers. G sub k is the growth rate of capital. G sub L is the growth rate of labor. G sub y is the growth rate of the GDP. And finally, G sub A shows us how much of GDP growth can be attributed to technological change. So now we're going to use this to solve our problem. So we're given the problem, suppose that China annually grew by 9.3%, labor by 2%, capital by 10%, and the share of output to capital is 40%. Find the percentage of GDP growth attributed to technological change. So again, here's our formula. And now we have all the values except for what we're solving for, the percentage attributed to technological change. So each value, these are the numbers that correspond. So alpha from the output to capital is 40%, so we get 0.4. And 1 minus alpha is 0.6. And the growth rate of capital is 10%, so we get 0.10. The growth rate of labor is 2%, so we get 0.02. And then the GDP growth rate is 9.3%, so we get 0.093. So then we plug these values in, and we just have to solve for G sub A, which is what we're solving for, and we get 0.041. That tells us that 4.1% of GDP growth is attributed to technological change.